Good morning, YouTube yogis, and welcome to South Africa. We are here in a place called Alcantamui Nature Reserve, and it's here in Plettenberg Bay along the Garden Route along the western coast of South Africa. I wasn't actually planning on filming a Shavasana series here, but I woke up this morning and the rain has cleared. You can start to see a little bit of blue skies, and just with this view, I came up here to see the sunrise this morning, and I just had this overwhelming sense of gratitude and joy to be here. So I thought, why not tap into that feeling and put together a nice little heart-opening, self-love, gratitude flow for you guys this morning. So without further ado, let's get started. We are going to start off this morning in our Sukhasana. So just staying where you are here, if you're already seated in the center of your mat with your legs gently crossed. From here, we're going to take a nice deep breath in. And as we exhale, we're going to bring one hand to the heart and one hand to the belly, gently closing down the eyes. Just allowing ourselves, as always, these first few moments to really settle in here, to center ourselves, to leave everything else outside of the mat, just for this 30 minutes this morning. To tune into any noises that you hear around you. I'm lucky enough to hear the sound of the birds, of the water, tuning into how the body is feeling, how the mind is feeling. Maybe you woke up feeling really well rested. Maybe, like me, you were lucky enough to see a little bit of sunrise or blue skies when you got out of bed this morning. Or maybe you're feeling a little bit tired, a little bit lethargic. Maybe you really need this practice to start to open up that space in the center of the chest to allow yourself to bring that gratitude in. From here, we're going to move through a nice 3-part breath. So after your next exhale, we're going to inhale into the belly, belly rise. Inhale into the chest. Final sip of air in. Hold at the top. And exhale, release. Moving through this 3 more times. Inhale, belly. Inhale, chest. Last breath in. Let it go. Inhale, belly. Inhale, chest. Last breath in. Hold at the top. And release. Feeling that sense of emptiness at the bottom. Then inhaling belly. Inhaling chest. Final breath. And hold. And release. Just gently returning back to the normal breath here. Allowing the body to get ready to fill itself full of that prana, that life force energy, that new, clean, fresh air, and to release any of that stagnant breath, anything we no longer need. So really using that inhale to bring those joyful, gratitude-filled things in, and using the exhale to just let go. Taking one final breath here. And as we exhale, gently blinking the eyes open. From here, as we inhale, we're going to raise the arms up to the ceiling. We're going to interlace the fingers, just pushing them up towards the sky, rolling the shoulders back. Exhaling, rounding the spine, bringing the hands forward, moving through our seated cat-cows here. So inhaling. Exhaling. 2 more here, inhaling. And exhaling. Final breath, inhaling, rolling those shoulders back. Exhaling, rounding the spine forward, releasing the right hand down to the right side of the mat. The left arm comes up and over. So really creating a lot of space through the left side of the body here, opening up that rib cage, just seeing if we can bend slightly further, looking up towards the sky or towards that top hand if you can. One more deep breath here. Then as we exhale, we're going to swoop that left hand forward, swapping it over. Left hand comes down, right arm up and over. Same thing here. Maybe we're on the palm of the hand, maybe we're on the fingertips, or maybe you make your way down to the elbow here. Wherever you find that space this morning, wherever the body is telling you it would like to go. Once again, can we bend slightly further, keeping that drishti, that gaze up towards that top hand, rolling that right shoulder back. We don't want to collapse forward here. Deep breath. Exhale, swooping through to center. We're going to cartwheel the hands down here and we're going to make our way onto all fours. Now from here, we're going to tent the fingertips as we inhale, dropping the belly, lifting the chin and chest, looking forward. Those tented fingertips just give us even more space through the spine here. Deep breath in. Exhaling, rounding, looking towards the belly button, pushing the mat away with those fingertips. Inhaling, rolling all the way forwards. Exhaling, shifting the pelvis in the opposite direction. Last breath here. Inhaling. And exhaling. On our next inhale, we're going to roll the hips all the way forwards. We're going to slide the elbows onto the mat, just wiggling the hips, the feet in side by side. And as we inhale, lifting the chin and chest, just finding our Sphinx pose here. So not too deep of a back bend to begin with, but just starting to feel how that feels in the body. Opening up the chest, opening up the shoulders, starting to maybe squeeze the glutes, finding that extra length through the front of the body. Then as we exhale, we're going to melt down and we're going to tent the fingertips here. Now we're going to start to allow the deltoids, the front of the shoulders, to kiss the mat here. So bringing down the right side, then the left, two more here. Starting to feel that into the shoulder blades, feeling that all the way through both the front and the back of the body. One last one. And when you're ready, sliding the palms in underneath the shoulder blades. Now from here, we're going to tuck the back toes and we're going to shift ourselves all the way back. We're finding our first downward facing dog here. As always, let's find that movement here. Just noticing what areas of the body feel a little bit stiff this morning. I know for me, it's definitely all the way through the backs of the legs, probably a little bit of dehydration, especially first thing. Also moving the head and the neck here. Coming back to that breath, feel free to maybe close the eyes if that feels good. Deep breathing, deep inhales, complete exhales. From here, shifting it all the way back to your downward facing dog, finding stillness here, tucking the belly button in, finding that length all the way from the fingertips up through the arms into the shoulders. Can we sink those heels a little bit further? I don't mind if they don't touch the ground. Mine aren't touching this morning, but we really want to actively be in this asana. We're not resting here. We're starting to stretch out the body. One more breath. And release. Now two options here. Option one, we're going to pause here for two more breaths, really focusing on pushing that floor away. Or option two, we're going to move through one spinal wave. If you're coming with me, as we inhale, we're going to ripple forwards, finding our high plank. Exhaling, starting to drop the hips, lifting the chin and chest. Inhaling as we bend the knees, shifting it all the way back. Really nice, well done. Now from here, as we inhale, we're going to start to lift that right leg and open up that right hip. Let's bend that right knee and we're looking over that left shoulder if we can. As we exhale, we're going to bring right knee to left elbow and tap, rounding the spine. Inhaling, we come all the way back up. Exhaling, right knee to right elbow and tap. Inhaling, we come all the way back up. This time as we exhale, we're going to step that right foot in between the hands and we're going to pivot that back left heel down. Now as we inhale, powering up through the legs, we're rolling that left arm back, right arm forward, Virabhadrasana 2. Just having a look at our alignment here for a moment. If that right knee is starting to cave in, just guiding it out, bringing our arms nice and parallel, real strength through the legs here. Deep breath in and exhale. On our next inhale, shifting that right hand forward, flipping the palm and reversing. We're not going to pause here. We're going to start to spiral that right arm forward, left arm follows, coming all the way back. 2 more here. Exhaling, bring the arms forwards, flipping it to reverse. Last one, inhaling, coming all the way back. And this time as we exhale, right elbow or right forearm comes down onto that right thigh. Side angle here. Option for your bind, we're going to bring that right hand in underneath the right thigh, the left arm comes back, and we power up through the legs, looking up towards the ceiling here. Just 1 breath, deep inhale. Exhaling, releasing, straightening that front right leg. We're going to bring both arms to face the sky. As we exhale, we're going to fold, so finding our pyramid variation here. Deep breath. Maybe walking those hands back. As we inhale, we're going to step the hands forward. We're pivoting that back left heel and we're going to walk that right hand forward. Maybe the left hand follows and we're lifting that back left leg. Now, option to stay here. This is your supported Virabhadrasana 3, or option to bring that right hand to center. We're going to start to open up that left hip here, maybe lifting that left arm. Maybe the head follows. Finding our Ardha Chandrasana, our half moon. Deep breath here. As we exhale, we're going to slightly bend that right knee. The left knee is going to come all the way up, finding our one-legged Tadasana here, finding our balance. Deep inhale. As we exhale, that left foot comes across that right knee. We're slowly going to start to sink down, finding our figure 4 here, feeling that into that left hip. 1 breath here, deepest inhale. Exhaling, releasing all the way up. On our next inhale, we're going to take a hold of that back left foot with the left hand, and we're going to start to kick that left foot into that left hand and finding our Natarajasana here, our dancer pose. Beautiful heart opening pose, rolling the shoulders back. Last breath. Exhaling, bringing that knee back in towards the chest. As we inhale, this time we're going to bring that left knee behind the right and we're going to start to sink the hips down. So we find ourselves in this really nice kind of seated twist. Inhaling, bring the arms all the way up. Exhaling, that left elbow comes across the right knee and we're twisting over that right shoulder. Pausing here, slowing down slightly. Finding the breath. Closing down the eyes here for a moment. This is a moment of rest here. This is one of our passive stretches. We can feel it working into the hips, working into the spine. But it's not too hard to stay here. So it's the perfect time to simply close down the eyes. And I'd like you to think of one thing that you found joy in this morning. Maybe it's this practice. Maybe you already feel centered, focused, finding that form of moving meditation. Maybe it's helping you to leave the things that you don't need, that are clouding your mind, that are causing you stress. Maybe it's helping you to leave that outside for the moment, clear the mind. Maybe it was with your cup of coffee, maybe it was a text you woke up to. Just find that one thing. It can be big or it can be tiny. Hold on to it and take a breath. As you exhale, we're going to gently blink the eyes open. And we have 2 options here. I'm just going to twist around this way to show you guys a little bit clearer. Option 1, we're going to stay in our twist, stay looking over that shoulder. Feel free to take a bind if it's in your practice. Option 2, we're going to have a go at our side crow, our side bakasana. So If we're going to do that, we lift the hands. We're going to lift the hips up off the mat, keeping the legs the way they are, planting the hands so that the left elbow is towards the right knee and the right elbow is towards the right hip. Now we want chaturanga arms here. We're going to bend the elbows. We're going to lean and shift our weight over to that right side. Maybe we lift one foot, maybe we lift two. Finding our side crow. Just have a little play around with that if that's what you'd like to do. If not, we're going to pause where we are, finding our twist. We have one more breath, so wherever you are, take your time. Remembering that playfulness is a really important part of the practice. It's not a time to be worried about what people are thinking or how anything looks. That's not what yoga is about. It's about how it feels in the body. It's about always being a student, always being open to learning. Last breath here. And exhaling, returning to the front. Now from here, we're going to keep the legs where they are. We're going to bring that right knee forward, so keeping that bend and shimmying that left leg back. So finding our pigeon here. Now, if this is uncomfortable, an uncomfortable way to come into this, come from your downward facing dog. But if this is okay, we're going to pause here, deep breath in. As we exhale, bending the elbows, rolling forward. One more breath like this. Inhaling, the shoulder blades roll all the way back. Exhaling, coming all the way down. Final breath like this. Inhaling. And exhaling. Now from here, as we inhale, we're going to pause here to start with in our pigeon. If this feels okay, we're going to have a go at bending that back left foot and taking a hold of it. Now, we don't want to collapse to the side. Make sure you're still looking forwards, rolling that left shoulder and that right shoulder blade back. Maybe this is enough. You want to have a little play around here. If you'd like a little bit more, we're going to walk that left foot into that left elbow crease. If mermaid is in your practice or you're having a go, we're pulling up through that mullabandha, that pelvic floor, lifting the hips maybe slightly, lifting that right arm, and maybe even binding the hands here, finding your mermaid pose. Now we have 2 breaths, so once again, wherever you are, taking your time, just finding what feels good, having that little play around, just noticing how it feels when you come into these chest openers, rolling back the shoulders, bringing that breath to that center of the chest, that heart space. Final breath here. And release, releasing that foot down. Now from here, we're shifting it straight into our vinyasa. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Now I'm going to give you 2 options here. Once again, we can pause in our downward facing dog. We can come to our child's pose for 3 breaths. Or we can just sit on the knees. I know one of my favorite teachers, she's not a big fan of child's pose. So this is where she likes to take her rest. Also can be really beautiful if we're here, keeping the palms facing upwards, just staying with that sense of openness, of allowing that gratitude to flow all the way into the body. Softly closing the eyes. Once again, noticing how you're feeling already. Have you started to feel a little bit more calm, a little bit more content? Have you started to feel grateful? We're taking one last breath here. Deep breath in and release. Blinking the eyes open, we're going to all meet back in our Adho Mukha Shavasana, our downward facing dog here. Now this time as we inhale, we're going to lift that left leg, bringing it all the way up towards the sky, and then opening the hips, so looking over that right shoulder. Inhaling, bring the knee back in. Exhaling, left knee to right elbow. Inhaling, it comes all the way back up. Exhaling, opposite side. Final breath here. Inhaling, we rise. Exhaling, we're going to step that foot through, pivoting that back right heel down. Inhaling, powering up through the legs. Let's find our Virabhadrasana 2 here. Once again, coming to our alignment. We're opening the hips to the right this time. We're looking over that left arm, really pushing the baby toe side of that right foot into the mat. One breath here in stillness. And then as we exhale, let's shift it back to our reverse Virabhadrasana 2. Not pausing here, spiraling the arms. Both arms come forward. Inhaling, rolling it back. Exhaling, remembering that breath. 2 more. Really moving through the whole body here. Really finding that power in the legs. Opening up the chest. As we exhale, we know where we're going here, finding that nice side angle. Once again, maybe finding your bind. Looking up towards the sky, deep breath. Exhaling. Arms rise up, inhaling. Exhaling, we fold. Pyramid variation, Parvattanasana. Maybe the hands walk back. As we inhale, this is where we start to shift that weight forward. Maybe pausing here, maybe planting that left hand, lifting that right arm up towards the ceiling, opening up the hips to the right, and the head follows. Ardha Chandrasana, our half moon. One more breath. Exhaling, can we find our balance? Can we bring that right knee up towards the chest? Whoop, a little bit wobbly on this side. And as we exhale, let's find that nice figure of 4. The right foot comes on top of the left knee, and we start to sink down. Scarier for me on this side, I'm looking out towards the jungle. One more breath. Can we sink the hips a little lower? Exhaling, coming all the way back up. Inhaling, let's find our beautiful dancer, our Natarajasana on this side. Take your time. Last breath. Exhaling, coming back to center. This time as we inhale, remember we're bringing that right foot behind and we're slowly sinking the hips down. Feel free to bring the hands down to meet us here, whatever way works for you. Deep breath in and exhale. Finding that twist. Finding that moment of silence, of stillness. Remembering in these flows, we always combine that movement with that stillness. Because yoga is so much more than just physical exercise, physical moving. It's really about that connection. 2 more breaths here. Can we twist a little bit deeper for that last breath? And once again, our same options here. Whatever you did on the opposite side, have a go here. Maybe you're finding that stillness. Maybe you're really enjoying connecting with the breath, feeling that twist in the body. Maybe you'd like to have a go at that side crow. Once again, lifting the hips, but keeping them where they are on the mat. This time the right elbow comes towards the left knee. The left elbow comes towards the left hip. Find those nice strong chaturanga arms. Maybe we start to lift the feet up. Maybe we pause here for a little longer this time. Maybe one foot lifts. Whatever feels good. I'm going to give you 2 more breaths. I'm just going to swap to this side so you can see it from the back. If you're not quite sure where the feet should be going. It's the thing with online. It's always a little bit more challenging to demonstrate. So finding your last breath wherever you are. And whenever you're ready, this time we're going to bring that left knee in front. Finding that pigeon on the opposite side here. Finding that deep breath in, shifting that right leg back. Remember, you're more than welcome to come into this from your downward facing dog. Deep inhale. As we exhale, flowing down, starting to prepare that spine for that back bend. Inhaling, lifting. Exhaling, releasing. One more here. Rolling the spine as much as we can, rounding it on our way up. And then releasing. releasing it. Really nice. Now on our next breath in, pausing in the center of our pigeon here, we're going to lift that back right foot. We know where we're going. Maybe this is where we pause. Maybe we find a little bit of movement here. Maybe we slide that right foot into the elbow, starting to pull up through that pelvic floor, really squeezing the muscles there. Our Mula Bandha is known as our energy lock. Inhaling, maybe finding our bind. Maybe we pause here. Wherever we are, making sure we're rolling those shoulders back. We're allowing that chest to open. We're sending the energy, the breath there. Giving you time for one last breath. And then we're going to release, meeting back in our high plank. Let's take our vinyasa. We know our options. Maybe dropping the knees, maybe chaturanga down, untucking the toes. Upward facing dog and shifting it all the way back. Downward facing dog. Now once again, take whatever option serves you here. Maybe this time you find your balasana, your child's pose. Maybe you pause in your downward facing dog. Or maybe you just come seated on the knees. Palms facing up. Really allowing that energy to flow through you. The feeling here of being totally immersed in nature is just unbelievable. You feel so much more connected to the earth, so much more grounded. It starts to make you realize in a crazy way how insignificant you are, and not in a bad way, but in a way that all your small worries, troubles, you realize how small they really are, how tiny you are in this really vast environment. All of the trees, animals, birds, everything behind me. There's so much more of that. I'm just one tiny human here. And there's kind of a sense of relief in that. We're going to take one last breath and rest, wherever it is that you are. And when you're ready, I'd like you to meet me back on your mat, just here, sitting on the knees, maybe coming from your downward facing dog. Maybe you're here already. Maybe you're in your child's pose. And from here, we're just going to bring the feet out in front of us. So maybe shifting slightly towards the center of your mat, rolling the top of the spine down and bringing the feet flat on the mat. Now just seeing here that you can touch the heels with the fingertips. That's about how far we want the feet from the body. Now as we inhale, we're going to start to lift the hips. We're going to interlace the fingers underneath us, rolling the shoulder blades underneath and seeing how high we can lift the hips here, really squeezing the glutes, finding that bridge pose. Taking 2 more breaths here, deep inhales, keeping the head nice and still. This is really important. We don't want to move the neck here. 1 more. Can we lift a little higher? And when you're ready, exhaling, coming down. Now from here, you might know where we're going already. Option 1, come back into your bridge. I want to see it even, a millicentimeter higher, really squeezing the glutes, really pushing the hips towards the sky. Option 2, we're going to come into our wheel pose. If it's in your practice already, off you go. I'd like to see 5 breaths in it. If it's something that's new to you, you'd like to come with me, have a go, feel free. So first of all, we're going to keep the feet where they are, making sure we can touch those heels. We're going to bring the hands back by the shoulders. So flipping the palms, so the fingertips will be facing the shoulders. The palms of the hands are on the mat. Then as we inhale, first of all, we lift the hips, squeezing the glutes, and then we start to lift the chest. Okay? So really using the whole body here, feeling that deep stretch through the front of the body, feeling the spine stretch out. There should be no pain. In particular in the lower spine. If you feel any pain, please come back down nice and slowly. If this feels okay, we're going to take 2 more breaths. Remembering how important it is to breathe. To come out of this, we're going to come out the same way we came in, nice and slowly, bringing down the head, the upper body, finally the hips. And then we're not coming into any immediate counter poses. After a really deep back bend like that, we need to allow the spine to decompress. So just walking the feet out. If, like me, you've got quite stiff wrists, just starting to circle those. For 2 breaths, we're going to straighten the legs as if we're in our Shavasana. So just allowing everything to be completely neutral, completely still. Just feeling that spine as it returns back to its natural state here. Then we're going to bend the knees, bring the arms out either side, and slowly windscreen wiper them to the left and to the right. Only after we've already found that nice neutral spine, we've allowed it that time to decompress, to come back. From here, we're going to bring both knees to center. We're going to cross first the right leg over the left, bring the arms out nice and wide into a T shape, and we're going to allow the knees to fall to the left, the head to come to the right. Really important finding our supine spinal twist, especially after a really deep back bend like our bridge pose or our wheel pose. When you're ready, coming back to center, uncrossing the legs, and then I'd like you to hug the knees in, making yourself into a really, really small ball, kissing both knees, showing the body that love, that appreciation. Might feel silly, but to the body, it means the world. Then we're going to come to the opposite side. This time we're going to bring the left leg over the right, knees come to the right, and head comes to the left. Feeling that slowing down starting to begin here. And from here, just seeing if you can trust yourself, challenge yourself to keep the eyes closed, uncrossing the legs. We're going to find one last big squeeze, big hug in for the whole body, for the knees. Little rocks up and down with the knees, lifting the back off the mat, giving it that little massage. And then finding our way to our final asana. Let's find our Shavasana here. I'd like the next inhale that you take to be the deepest you've taken yet this morning. Deep breath in and release. Relax the forehead, relax the eyebrows. Allow the jaw to be neutral, the tongue to just hang in the center of the mouth. Allow the shoulders to melt even further into the mat. The arms to feel supported. Maybe the fingertips start to curl. The longer we stay here, the more we feel that lower spine start to come closer to the ground below. The legs feel heavy, completely supported by the ground. The toes and feet are light. For once, they're not carrying us. Maybe the feet even begin to fall outwards. From here, I'd like you to come back to that one thing you thought of earlier. something that you felt grateful for, that you felt love for. Maybe it's your favorite person, maybe it's a cup of tea, maybe it's an outfit that you're going to wear today that brings you that feeling of joy. Often it's not the big things, but it's the little things in life that when we find that gratefulness for them, when we allow ourselves the time to look around and see the beauty, that's when life becomes really magical. From here, just keeping the eyes closed, let's bring some little movements back to the body. Maybe wiggling out the wrists, the ankles. Take a nice, deep, full body stretch. And when you're ready, we're going to make our way back up to a nice seated position. Breathing in, bring the arms all the way up. And breathing out, I want you to bring both hands onto your heart space, onto that chest, the center of it. Feel your heartbeat. Feel that energy that we have within us. How lucky are we to have woken up this morning and to be able to do this practice. This is where I'd like you to set your intention. Not for the whole week, not for the month, or the year, just for today. When we have an open heart, a clearer mind, that's when our intentions come to us authentically. When you're ready, blinking the eyes open. Thank you so much for practicing with me this morning. Hope you enjoyed the view as much as I do. And I'll see you back here on our Shavasana series again soon.